welcome back to Top Tier Teaching. Today's topic: stop failing students. Ooh, I know this is an unpopular opinion. I already know what you're going to say, and that is students fail themselves. But I beg to differ. I think as educators, we are in control of creating support for our students. So, in talking about no student should fail, first of all, let's look at the research. John Hattie, in his top influences for creating environments that best support students, student retention is ranked really low, which shows when we retain students, when we hold them back, regardless what grade level, we are doing more harm to them than good. So the research already supports holding students back instead of promoting them is harmful. At the end of the day, everybody needs a high school diploma. Everybody doesn't have to go to college to be successful. These are things we have to think of. So even if students are able to show us minimal mastery, great. You need maximum mastery to go on to have an academic life. You don't need maximum mastery to do a lot of the support jobs that are required to run our society. Let's get these people out of high school. If you're an elementary teacher, pass them. Middle school teacher, pass them. They will not be able to thrive in college if that's what you're worried about. We need all types of support workers to run this entire planet. So let's stop failing students, okay? Here are 6 interventions. I'm going to talk about 6 interventions we can implement to support student success. Let me start off with aggressively seeking support. Aggressively seeking support. When, first of all, it takes a village. These students belong to a village, not just us. Okay? So a lot of times we take on the burden that it's our job alone to get these kids to be successful. That's far from the truth. We can reach out to on campus support. There are other teachers. Maybe you can't connect with the kid, but someone else on campus can connect. Reach out to get support. Hey, Lisa is struggling in my class. I want to know if you can pull her aside and talk to her or meet with her or encourage her. Use your mentor mentee relationship to support me. Reach out to other teachers. There are social workers on campus. Let them know. The counselor. Let the counselor be your first line of defense. Send an email to the counselor reaching out for support. Hey, just reaching out to let you know Lori is struggling in my classroom and I would like, do you have any intervention tips for me? Can you meet with her? Can you pull her aside? She isn't turning in any work. The counselors will call them in. Ask for help. Why are we letting these kids slip through the cracks? No, it's our job to aggressively seek support. Reach out to the instructional leadership team. That's the principal, the AP, the campus instructional support, wherever you are. Now, don't tell anybody I told you this, okay? We know, you know already that parents cannot not feed their kids, right? If they don't feed them, we can call CPS. Hey, this kid is being neglected. If they do not, like if a kid has a medical emergency, they have a toothache or whatever, the parent can't ignore that. They have to seek medical support. If not, it's medical neglect. Did you know there's such thing as educational neglect? I already know some of you may be dealing with students who have high absenteeism. You're like, well, how can I listen, if they are, I hear you, if they don't come to school, I'm not going to automatically pass these kids. And I'm not talking about automatically passing, so be sure you stay tuned to see what I'm talking about. But if they have high absenteeism, call CPS. Yeah, that's educational neglect. Parents have to send, or the support, whoever's at home, the at home support, oh, you have to send these kids to school. That is neglect. You cannot not send a kid to school. If they are showing up to school and they are sleeping, that you've tried all, now don't call CPS unless you've tried everything else. Okay, let CPS be your last line of defense. But I just want to empower you to let you know you can call CPS and it is private. Don't tell anybody you're doing it. I don't know if is dangerous. I don't know. Parents may, oh, you trying to get my kid taken away. You got to walk to the parking lot on your own. It is private. Do not let anybody know you are calling CPS because this kid has been absent for 30 days, or they're in class sleep, or they are not turning in work. Why is this kid not turning in work? See, so we like to complain, oh, the kid's not doing anything, but we aren't doing anything. We have not done everything we can do. CPS is a real option. A real option. It's called educational neglect. Most teachers are not using it. All right, another intervention that we can do is focused on our lesson design. Inside the classroom, if we want students to be successful, the first way we present our lessons is to model, model, model. Now, I'm giving you everything that's research based. You can go do the research on your own. But modeling and thinking aloud, that you are the expert in the classroom. Why not allow students to access your genius in lightning speed? Let me give you an example. I'm not a chef, okay? But there was a time I wanted to make broccoli soup. I went to YouTube, broccoli soup. I love Gordon Ramsay. I watch everything Gordon Ramsay. He has a video on broccoli soup. I watched his video on broccoli soup. This man has been a chef for decades. I am not a chef, not even a little bit. I simply followed his directions. He said, boil the water, salt it underneath, put the broccoli in, salt it on top. So he said, salt it underneath, on the top. I did that. He said, broccoli soup doesn't need anything else in it. You don't need to put chicken broth, vegetable broth. It just needs broccoli. You blend it. Anyway, I know how to make broccoli soup because I accessed the genius and the wisdom of Gordon Ramsay in an 8-minute video. You would not know the difference between my soup and Gordon Ramsay's soup because I simply tapped into his expertise. Chopped. I watched Chopped, not a chef. On Chopped, if one of the basket ingredients is candy, if I had not watched Chopped and I showed up on the Chopped um, setting, I showed up, I would not know what to do with candy. But because I watched Chopped, you turn candy, you melt it, and you maybe add a little something to it, and you turn it into a sauce. See, I know this because I have accessed the minds of the geniuses. So, we're the genius, we're the expert. Now, we're not the only one. These kids are their own genius, but chances are, if you're an art teacher, a math teacher, a science teacher, language arts, these kids can access your genius. You're the one who knows your subject matter. Please think aloud, and I'll do more videos on this specifically, but begin to do your research and your studying on how can I implement think aloud? How can I model? Model, model, model. If you want these kids to write a paper, show them a model. If you want an end result, show them a model. Okay? If you're a math teacher, think through the process. If you're an art teacher, think through the process. If you're an athletic instructor, show them the form. Think through what should they be thinking while they're running. Keep your form up. Keep your I don't know anything about athletics, so but we're the expert. So give these kids, allow them to just access our genius immediately. That helps them to be successful. Why do we have students guessing? Okay, no. Redesign your grading policy. So, 3, redesign your grading policy. You want to design your grading policy to support student success. I want to offer the idea of portfolio grading. Again, you can do your own research. I'll do another video on this. But in portfolio grading, let's say we design our class for standards. Everybody wants students to master standards based grading, right? So grades aren't just haphazard. Oh, you get an A, you get an A. No, the state gives us standards. You master these standards. So again, coming back to America's educational system is flawed because we expect everybody to go through high school to be ready for college. And I know it says preparing all students for college. No, we need to prepare students for life, which means they don't need to master. Let's say you have 10 standards per quarter. They don't need to master all 10 of those, right? Because if you have them set up so that they need to master all 10, they're going to fail. But what if you want to be the manager of McDonald's? What if you want to be the manager of Target? What if you want to be, the supervisor of housekeeping at the nearby hotel? We need we don't need everybody to go off to college. So then we need to stop designing our coursework that way. Some countries have it set up so that right at the eighth grade, students take an achievement test. I think Singapore. And some students who do well on it, they go off to college. They go off to college prep high school, and the others, they go off to support system high school where they're learning trades. Genius. America's not doing that. So our students are being punished because we don't have that system in place. You put that system in place. You put that system in place in your classroom immediately. Okay, so an example would be, let's say the district says, okay, these students need to master these 10 standards this quarter. All right, so you stagger, create a success stagger where that you say, okay, if you master 8 to 10, you qualify for an A at the end of this term. If you don't master at least 8 to 10, regardless of the other work that we do in this class, you cannot receive an A. You must master 8 to 10 standards. You create your own number, okay? Let's say 5 to 7. You need to master 5 to 7 standards in order to qualify for a B at the end of this term. That's the highest grade you can receive. If you master between 5 to 7, you are guaranteed a B. You cannot get higher than a B because you need to master 8 to 10 to qualify for an A. You can say master 3 to 4 standards to qualify for a C at the end of the term. You can say master 1 to 3 standards to qualify for a D as the highest grade that you can earn. You see that? One or two. I said 3. 1 to 2. 1 or 2. One standard will get you a D, which is passing. Voila. No F's. No F's. Okay? The fourth intervention, you can create a mastery based model which allows students to complete work towards a standard until mastery is achieved. And in my definition, mastery is 80% or higher. How do you define is mastery 75%? That's up to you. Well, how do you do that? Again, enact aggressive support. Lean on the home support team for these students to, they take a quiz and it's like, oh man, they made a 60 on the quiz or 30. Put it in, but it's temporary. That 30 in the computer for the quiz doesn't stay. They need to fix this. This quiz needs to be met with mastery. This test, you have to master this quiz, sweetheart. I will reach out to the counselor. Hey, Lisa scored a 40 on her quiz. Can you send her by before school or after school or during lunch? Whatever needs to happen. Maybe you give some practice work that they need to fix before they come back and take this quiz. Lean on the home support, lean on the campus support, offer lunch and learns, before school, after school support. Remember, success by any means necessary. This is 5. Use your paper and pencil tasks as practice. Move to project-based learning model. When students are doing project-based assignments, like design your class so that they are creating projects. So you have the mastery of the standards where they're taking quizzes and tests, and then in between, everybody's working on a project. Let them do real world projects. This supports success. It's collaborative. If you're stuck and you don't have any ideas, let ChatGPT do it. Let AI offer you some project ideas for your classroom, for your content, okay? 7, front load your effort. By designing a thinking based classroom. You want a rigorous classroom. Your classroom should be fun. Okay, your classroom should be fun. It should be exciting. It needs to be colorful. It should be supportive. Like, make sure it's just a pretty place to be. Not just a pretty place to be, but it's a thinking place. It's a place where students know they aren't going to do busy work. Okay, change the busy work to complex work. So decrease the amount of work the students are doing and increase the complexity of the work they are doing. Okay, so replace more work with complex work. How do you do that? Teach with questions. Okay, you have a set of questions that you may be asking, and then let the students ask questions. How can you incorporate questions? Okay, research shows that whoever's asking the questions is doing the most learning. Incorporate discussions. Let the like just basically look at John Hattie's top influences. So questions, discussions. How can you require more complex work that supports student success when they know? Because if they feel, oh, I don't want to do this is pointless, but if they're working on projects, if they know the work is challenging, some students want to be challenged, they will step up to the plate to do your work. So I would love to hear how you feel about this topic. Stop failing students. Just stop it. We are in charge of creating a classroom where students succeed. They don't have to fail. They literally do not have to fail. We're doing that. I know you're like, oh, they don't do. No, we're doing that. If we redesign the entire way we approach the school year, students will have a better chance of being successful. So I hope this information was helpful. Please like, subscribe, leave me a comment. Let me know how you feel about it. I can't wait to further this conversation. Please join the conversation. Let me know how you feel about it. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next video.